So what we're going to do at this point is really talk about 12 common estate planning mistakes and how do we avoid them. So the first mistake is failing to address healthcare decisions. So, 2013, there's been a lot of developments in medicine, and we're living longer. And as a result, 85% of deaths are occurring in hospitals and nursing homes. And what does that mean? If there's longer periods where a patient lacks decision-making capacity, doesn't have the ability to evaluate the recommendations that the doctors are making, whether it be a prescription, pain medication, whether to receive a recommended procedure. And so that creates a number of problems. And the first problem is we could have a conflict. If we haven't designated an agent to make our healthcare decisions for us, we could have the same situation we saw in the early 2000s with Terri Schiavo, where Terri Schiavo was a young, beautiful lady. She's 29 years old, taking a number of different diet medications. She was out running and collapsed, and ultimately she had lost oxygen to the brain, and it took a while for the doctors to figure out what had happened. And at the end, there was a medical malpractice lawsuit. Her husband received a few $100,000 to compensate the family. But over time, he had moved on, and he'd found a new partner and wanted to say goodbye to that chapter of his life and let his wife go and remove the feeding tube. Whereas her parents wanted to keep those life-saving measures in place. They held out hope that some therapies might be available for her so that she could have a better quality of life. And we saw that it created delays in the care that she received. It incurred costs for the family because each side had to hire an attorney. And those attorneys were churning the bills, and it even got Congress involved, passing the emergency legislation. And that all could have been avoided if Terri and her husband had put together an estate plan, a simple advanced healthcare directive, and named an agent to make those decisions. The second problem is guilt. And sometimes, the adult children feel guilty about making that final decision to withdraw a respirator or feeding tube, those life-saving procedures. And then the situation where we don't have a decision maker, where we don't have someone who can step up and make those decisions. 2013, sometimes we're moving across the country for a new job, and we're in a location where we don't have family members who could step up and make that decision. So we need to stop, think about that. Who are our friends and neighbors who could step up when necessary? And then also, directions. What are your wishes? Do you want to prolong your life as long as possible? Do you want to make your tissues and organs available for transplant purposes, medical research, education? So how do we solve this problem? We can solve this problem with an advanced healthcare directive where we can name an agent to make our healthcare decisions for us if we're unable to do so. We can list a couple alternates as well in case they're unable to serve. And then we can also include those end-of-life directives about how the type of care we want to receive towards the end of our life. And what a lot of people are doing these days, they're using a service called DocuBank. There's another company called Legal Directives, where after they've executed an advanced healthcare directive and they've executed a HIPAA release authorizing their loved ones to receive their medical information, these companies are storing those documents and then issuing them a little card that goes in their wallet. It has their contact information, so if they were found unconscious, they needed medical attention. The medical providers are going to look through the law, look for emergency contact. They can find that card. They can call that number for the primary care physician. And then also in the advanced directive, we want clear statements of intent to our loved ones so that there's no question what we would have wanted. So when we're sitting down and putting these documents together, we want to involve our family members and make sure that they truly understand what our wishes are. And in addition to the advanced healthcare directive, many people are also executing DNRs, do not resuscitate orders, living wills, those are documents that govern the end-of-life decisions as well, and organ donation.